know what I was thinking. That's not even close to the reference. I'm going to Alt-tap this one, and I'll mask the end of this one, and then we're just going to move this back because it only goes that far. So now this piece up here I'm going to treat just like I did with the trigger here. So I'm going to go to grab my trusty cube again, put another cube on there, split that off, Shift D, move this up like so, and we'll go ahead and go back here. So now this one I'm going to put right in here. Now it's going to go around this and then make this interesting shape. So I'm going to go ahead and make the interesting shape first, and then the rounded part we'll just grab from the cylinder later on. So again, I'm going to just crank that Dynamesh resolution up. Maybe not that far. There we go. And then go ahead and paint this detail on. And this thing needs to be a little thinner than that, so it's going to go around that and then kind of clamp down around here. Let's say about thereabouts. And this is going to be a cylinder sticking into there, so I'm going to clip that out. And let's drop that resolution a little bit more. Make it a little bit more responsive. So now this is going to be like the miniature one, and then this one is going to be the bigger one. And we'll give it a little bit of space to kind of breathe here. I'm going to mask this and then invert that and just pull that up a bit. Now I don't need this on anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that. So we got that shape. Now let's go ahead and tap this one. And we got two things we need to do. We need to go ahead and flesh out this piece here and then also put on top of that another piece with a bunch of holes in it. So let's go ahead and do this one. I'm going to duplicate this one off, hold down Control Shift, hit Shift D, and then we're going to go to Slice, Polyframe, and it needs to be the width of this. Let's go ahead and do that. Isolate this, delete hidden, and it's going to be a little shorter. Delete hidden. Now we need to beef this up a little bit, so I'm going to QMesh Polygroup All. I'm going to crease polygroup, Control D, Control D. I'm going to shoot this to the top, shoot this one to the top, merge them down, blend them together, and there we go. We got this end piece here. If you want to, you can kind of smooth out a little bit. And let's go ahead and clip. All right, we got that end piece there. And actually, looking at it zoomed in, what I'm going to do is take these and then kind of push these down a little bit, and I'm going to actually add, let's go ahead and mask this here. Looks like I'm missing a piece there. There we go, perfect. So it's got a little bit of room to breathe here, and then I need to go ahead and add a cylinder in here. Let's see if we can't just use Clip Circle. That'll work. And of course, along in here, you're going to have a place for a screw, and another screw here. And below that screw, it looks like from the front, I'll mask this all out. It kind of comes in just a little bit underneath that screw. Let's grab our clip curve. Something like that. And of course, we need to make this a little bit wider. We can simply just mask that, widen it out a bit. Push that up just a tad. There we go. Good enough. And while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and Alt-tap this one. And we'll go ahead and grab into this. Do a little more transpose modeling. Do a quick uncrease all. And then crease tolerance, dynamic. There we go. And probably this won't be showing through, so I'm going to go ahead and just clip circle this back. There we go. Now it looks like on the bottom here there's going to be a hole in here, so I'm going to go to Brush, Insert, Cylinder, drag out a big brush, and then hold down, well, let's see, hold down Alt while I do that. Well, if it starts doing that, Control, now hold down Alt, move this, we can turn on double temporarily, see where the heck it is. And we go ahead and scale this down a little bit maybe. Okay, so we poked a hole through it there. So now let's do another one. I'm going to use let's do a cylinder, a 12 cylinder, but we got to use the one that's pointing towards me here, the mid cylinder, so we can just drag that out. Hide point split hidden. Let's move this up, and we'll stick that right in there. Quick mirror and weld, ghost, transparency. Let's go ahead and do a little loop here. So it looks like it kind of has a loop that comes out. And then Control Shift drag another copy here. Let's go into solo mode. And I'm going to take these end caps off. Delete hidden. And now I'm going to bridge. I'm going to use my mouse for this. We're going to do bridge. 2 holes. We're going to do a circle. Optimal curvature, optimal resolution. From here to here. Good enough. And you know what? This thing also shows up towards the back here because these are what the little carrying strap gets connected to. And it also looks like, oh, it's hard to tell. You know what? I'm just going to kind of noodle this around a little bit. I'm going to go with my clay brush here. Transparency. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a place to go. Let's turn off RGB for the clay brush here. And then we'll just put a little cylinder in here. Happy little cylinder. Hide point split hidden. There we go. So that'll go through there. And we'll just do a quick crease dynamic. There we go. Okay, so we got those 2 pieces here. And we got another big piece here. So I'm going to Alt tap this one. Shift D, another duplicate. And you know what? Let's bring our our reference image back. And let's go ahead and do another slice and another, it goes out further, but I'm going to go ahead and just slice that piece there. And let's go into solo mode. I'm just going to take this middle piece here, if I can grab it. Alright, delete hidden. And I don't even need this bottom part here. Let's go ahead and delete hidden on that. And actually, let's delete a little bit less. Alright, that should be okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to Q-mesh polygroup all. We're going to get this piece going. And if we do need to make this end piece a little bit longer, let's do Q-mesh single poly on both sides. And then just pull these in and let's rotate them just a tiny bit. Good enough. Okay, so we got this piece here. We'll do a quick crease, groups by normals too if you want to, and then Control D. And let's mask this part here, and we'll continue this. This looks like it overlaps quite a bit here. Actually, before I Control D, I'm going to need to do some uncreasing here in a second. I'm looking at the shape, so I'm going to pull this forward here. So now, if I hit D, it's going to give me a preview here, and let's see if we can't just uncrease these edges here by holding down Alt and then holding down Alt. And it is uncreasing them, but man, it's giving me too long of a transition. So I'm just going to go in here to Insert, Single Edge Loop, and I'm just going to pull an edge loop towards there, and I'm going to pull another edge loop towards there. There we go, nice soft transition. So now, got this top piece, and we need to make it full of holes. How are you going to sub-D model a thing full of holes? That's going to be a pain to get to resolve. And yeah, I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is, let's make sure I don't have dynamic turned on. I'm going to Control D, Control D, Control D, and let's just make a big old Dynamesh out of this. Maybe not that big. Okay, good enough. Now what I'm going to do is go to Brush, Insert, no. Let's go grab this custom one here. We'll do an Insert 16. I'm going to drag that on the side here. Make sure that they go all the way through. So this is going to be my take the longest one, because I got to set these up just right, because after I get these set up, let's turn on LSim here. There we go. So once I get these set up, everything else should just fall into place. So I'm going to move this forward just a tad. Okay, and we'll do W, Control Shift, and then we'll rotate these. Make sure those poke all the way through. Shift Z to bring my concept back, and we'll push this back just a little bit. Okay, those seem fine. So now I'm going to do is Control Shift, grab all of these, mask them out, invert that, and then Control Shift and just move these forward. It looks like they stay pretty steady. So let's go ahead and do another one. And another one. I'm just control clicking on those to mask them for me. Alright, I didn't need that many, so I'm going to go ahead and grab these ones here, Control Shift A, delete hidden, and one more. Beautiful. So I'm going to grab all these, split them off, and then I'm going to do a crease tolerance, Control D to make them nice and smooth, and then grab this thing, move it above, Control W, merge this one down, make that a subtractive. Beautiful. Smooth brush. Let's make that smooth stronger. Perfect. Actually, looks like I should have stopped right when I got to this point. So let's go ahead and grab that. Let's go split that off. Grab all of these. Delete those. Merge them down again. Much better.